Hi, welcome to live stream Yoga with Louise. Tips and cues to keep you safe and strong on the mat. Today we are going to push ourselves plain circuit style. Make your practice as cardio-centric as you'd like by bumping up your pace, but not at the expense of form and control. I'm going to be setting a moderate pace and then you pick a pace that works for you today. As always, play where you're comfortable, modify when you need to, rest if and when you need to. You ready? Let's hit the mat. We're going to find a comfortable stand at the back end of our mat. Feet maybe stacking underneath the hips. Arms could be at your side, on your hips. You could T-frame them or reach them out in front. We're going to challenge balance as we start to wake up the legs with a hovering double heel lift, lifting up and down without allowing your heels to ground while you're playing, gripping the mat with all 10 toes, making those calves work and burn. Reground to the mat, stabilize on your right leg and find a side single leg lift on the left. Reground to the mat and come back to those floating heel lifts. Reground, stabilize on the left leg, and then find a side lift with the right leg. Floating heel lifts. Reground to the mat, take a big breath in. On an exhale, find a roll down pattern. Use the roll down pattern to walk your way into a plank. Pause once you've found the plank. Then think of creeping your feet towards your hands, inchworm style, by piking your bum and taking little steps towards the top end of the mat. Roll it back up. Take a big breath in. On an exhale, roll it down. Find your way back into plank by stepping or hopping back. Pause. Then inchworm your hands towards your legs. We're going to keep playing between the top and the back end of the mat. Roll it down. Walk to plank. Then inchworm feet to hands. Roll it back down. Step or hop back. Inchworm your hands towards your legs. Last time, roll it down. Ease your way to a plank line. Pause, we're going to hold here for 10. Then release your knees, shins and feet to the floor. Take a swivel so that you've got more mat to play with. In the middle of the mat is a good place to be if you're on the short side. If you're on the tall side, you might need to come slightly off center. We're going to bend one leg, extend the other. Big toe and knee more or less in a straight line. We'll set up a high gate line. Flat hand, you could do spider fingertips or maybe a fist on the floor. You could modify with a block or two. We're going to set up that nice high gate line, top hand on our hip, and we're going to find a single leg lift and tap on the extended leg, playing to hip height and then tapping back out. End at hip height. Start to bend and extend through the top leg using a zippering up and a zippering down action to the lower abs. Remember which hand was holding you up. You're going to come back to your tall kneel. That's going to be your working hand. You're going to give me a side tuck. You're going to flick your hand as you come overhead, and you're going to release into the wrist and the fingers. Find your way to your gate line on the second side, taking a moment to set your frame up, and then beginning to lift and tap when you're ready. End at hip height and start to tuck and extend. Find your way back to your tall kneel. Remember which was the arm that you were holding yourself on. You're going to give me a side crunch. You're going to frame and flick. Last one. We're going to find our way from here to a seat on the mat. Bending our knees, grounding our feet, fingertips on the mat behind you. You could do fingers front, side, back. You could also drop down onto the elbows if you like. You're going to find a lean off the center line, bringing your legs into table. We're going to extend and tuck. Fall back into a hollow hold, finding a banana frame on the mat and holding. You could do palms up, palms down, whichever feels good for you. Find that hollow belly, hold it, hold it, hold it. Then release to the mat in a bridge-like setup. We're going to use our bridge as our active rest for the next 4 exercises. You're going to bleed up into your bridge line, giving your glutes squeeze, holding and taking a stretch through the belly and the tops of your thighs. Then start to play. Soften your bum and tap it, drop and tap it to the mat, and then squeeze back up dynamically. Keeping your feet and your knees in parallel. Then end in your bridge, pause and stretch. Soften your glutes to bleed back down. We're coming into a single leg stretch. Take a recovery breath. On an exhale, full tilt and imprint. Draw your legs into table, scoop up and hold onto your right knee, extending the left leg. And then find a switch pattern. Find your way back into your working bridge. Peel up when you're ready, take a stretch. And then start to play. One drop and tap, one float back up. End in the bridge, pause and stretch. Then bleed back down. Take recovery. We're coming into a double leg stretch. When you're ready, tilt and imprint. Draw the legs to 90, scoop up, holding onto the knees, find a little tuck. Then open the arms and the legs into a little V and tuck back. Stay or add a scoop so that you're engaging more of your trunk. Find your way back to your working bridge. Articulating up when you're ready. Pausing for a stretch before you begin to dip and tap and float back up. Hold your next bridge. Articulate back down when you're ready. Arms can stay at your side, palm down, or you can tuck them underneath your bottom to support your lower back. Preferably both legs starting at the 90 position, or you can anchor left and play right. We're going to find a drop pattern on the right, a quarter, half, or all the way down, and then pull back up. So find your drop range, controlling the weight of the leg as it drops, and then using your abs to pull it back to your start line. Seamlessly transition to the second side. Find your way back to your working bridge, articulating up when you're ready and pausing for a stretch, and then beginning to dip and play. Hold your next bridge, take a little stretch through the belly and the thighs, then bleed back down. Arms stay at your side or tuck them underneath your bottom. We're going to float both legs to the 90 line and we're going to drop them as one, a quarter, half, or all the way down, and then pull them back up with control. Try to keep your face, neck, and jaw as soft and relaxed as you can. Keep the work in your belly. Back to your working bridge line. Hold your next breath, take a nice little stretch here. Reconnect to the mat when you're ready, and as soon as you've connected to the mat, roll onto one side and reposition yourself in a plie line. So think straddle with a slight bend knee. You're going to walk your way up, check your feet, tracking towards the corners of your mat. We're going to come halfway up and drop back down, keeping those knees splaying out. And our tailbone tucked underneath the carriage of our trunks. End low and start to play with a little side lunge. End leaning towards the back end of your mat and then heel toe your other foot in. We're going to take a swivel. to find our way back to the top end of the mat and repeat the circuit, starting with your floating heel lifts. Reground, side lift on the left. Double floating heel lifts. Anchor left, find your floating side lift on the right. Double up, floating heel lifts. Re-anchor, take a big breath in, roll it down, finding your way into a plank line, pause. Start to pike your bum and inchward, creep your feet towards your hands. Roll it back up, reset, realign. Roll it down, find your way into a plank, step or hop. Inchworm your hands towards your feet. Roll back up. Roll it down. Walk your way into plank. Inchworm your feet towards your hands. Roll back up. 2 more to go. Roll it down. Step or hop back. Find your plank. Creep your hands towards your feet. Last one before we change our orientation on the mat. Roll it down. Hold your last plank for at least a count of 10. Release to the knees, swivel on the mat, and set up your first gate line. Single leg lift and tap. End in the lift and transition into a tuck. Come to a tall kneel, take the hand that was holding you up. We're going to play with that arm. You're going to give me a side tuck and then a frame and flick. Find your gate line on the second side. When you're ready, start to lift and tap. And in the lift, begin to find a little knee tuck and a leg extension. Remember which arm was holding you up. You're going to find your way to a tall kneel. We're going to play with a little side crunch and a frame and flick. Find your way from here to a seat on the mat. We'll call this a little froggy crunch. You can play on the forefingers or you can drop down onto the elbows. We're going to extend and bend. Then fall back into a hollow hold. Hold it, abs working. Find your way into a bridge setup. You know where you're going to lead up when you're ready. Take a little stretch. And then when you're ready, start to drop and tap before floating back up. Keep those feet and those knees in parallel. End in the bridge, pause, stretch. Lead back down, prepare for your single leg stretch. Full tilt and imprint. Draw your knees into table, scoop up, cupping around one knee, extending the other leg, and then switching. Find your way back into your working bridge line, articulating up when you're ready, pausing for a stretch, and then starting to play. End in the bridge, pause and stretch. Then melt your way back down and prepare for your double leg stretch. Tilt and imprint, draw your knees up into table, scoop up into a chest lift, hugging both knees in, and then begin to V and tuck, V and tuck, adding a swim with your arms if you like. Lead your way back down to the mat. Find your way into your working bridge line, remembering to pause and stretch before you begin to play. End in your bridge, pause and stretch. Lead back down. Arms at your side or hands under your booty. Float both legs to 90 or anchor on one side as you find a drop pattern on the other. Seamlessly transition to the second side. Find your way back into your bridge-like setup. Articulate up, take a little stretch, and then start to dip and play. End in your bridge line, take a mini stretch. Peel back down, keeping your arms where they are or tucking underneath your bottom. Extend both legs to 90. Drop them in unison and pull them back up. Find your way into some bridge play, peeling up when you're ready, pausing for a stretch, and then beginning to dip and float back up. Hold your next bridge, take that stretch, breathe back down, and when you're ready, roll to one side and find your way into your working plie line. Take a moment to set up the line, walk your way up, and when you're ready, start to lift and drop. Remembering to tuck your tailbone under. End low, let's play here and let's add some more work here by finding an alternating single heel lift. Then start to transition into that side to side lean. We're going to end leaning towards the back end of our mat. We're going to heel turn the other foot in. And we're going to start to find our way into our last round of the circuit. Starting with a double floating heel lift. Then ground right and find a side lift on the left. Reground both feet, find your floating heel lifts. Make those calves work. Ground left, side lift on the right. Ground both feet, and then into your floating heel lifts. Reground with both feet, big breath in, roll it down, find your way into a plank pause. Then inchworm your feet towards your hands. Roll it up. Roll back down. Step or hop into a plank pause. Then inchworm your hands towards your feet. Roll it back up. Roll it down. Find your way into a plank pause. Inchworm your feet towards your hands. Roll it up. Roll right back down. Step or hop back into a plank pause. Inchworm your hands towards your feet. One more to go. Roll it up. Roll it right back down, and this time hold your plank once you've found it. Release to the knees, take a swivel on the mat and take a moment to set up your gate line. Once you've found it, begin to dynamically lift and tap the extended leg. Control line is at hip height. Into the lift, start to find a knee tuck and a leg extension. Your grounding arm is now going to become your working arm. Find a tall kneel. You're going to give me a side tuck and a frame and flick. Take a moment to set up your gate line on the second side, and when you're ready, start to lift and tap. And in the lift, start to find a knee tuck and a leg extension. Last one, your grounding arm is going to become your working arm. You're going to find a side tuck and a frame and flick. Find your way into a modified seat. You could drop down onto the forearms if you need it. We're going to think boat line, and then you're going to drop to extend and then pull back up into a tuck. Fall back into a hollow hold. Bend your knees, ground your feet. Set up for some bridge. Lead up when you're ready. Pause and stretch. Then start to drop and tap and float back up. Hold your next bridge. Lead back down. Quick recovery breath. Then tilt and imprint, draw your legs to table, scoop up, hold onto one knee, extend the other leg, and then switch. Back to your working bridge line. Lead up when you're ready. Look for that stretch. And then start to play with that dipping motion. Hold your next bridge. Stretch. Lead back down and prepare for your double leg stretch. Tilt and imprint. Draw the knees to 90. Scoop up into a chest lift, tucking and then opening up arms and legs in unison before tucking and closing. Add a swim of the arms if you like. Back to our working bridge line. Bleed up, pause, stretch, and then start to play dynamically. Hold your next bridge, stretch. Lead back down, arms at your side or hands under your bottom. Float both legs to 90 or anchor left on the floor and start to drop right. Seamlessly transition and start to play on the second side. Find your way back into your working bridge, articulating up for a stretch first, and then starting to dip and play. Hold your next bridge, take a mini stretch. Then reconnect to the mat, arms at your side or hands under your bottom. Float both legs up towards the sky. Find a double drop and then pull back up. Back into our last bridge sequence. Articulate up for a stretch. And then begin to play when you're ready. Hold your last bridge. Lay back down. Roll onto your side. And find your way into your working plie line. Set it up. And when you're ready, start to dip and halfway lift. Tucking your tailbone under. Let's end low and let's add an alternating single heel lift. Start to morph into a side lunge or lean, extending and stretching on one side, bending on the other. And leaning towards the back end of your mat, heel toe, the other leg in. Take a swivel to face the top end of your mat. Stand up nice and tall. Feet just inside of hip width distance apart, and take a small step out on the right so that you've got a narrow pyramid or triangle between the two legs. Place your hands on your hips. Take a big breath in. On an exhale, fold forward into table. Stay here or see if you can start to lift the right toes off the mat. Maybe you can reach with one or with two hands for those toes and hug them in towards your shin line. Keep your navel softly drawn in. Then reground the right foot as you peel back up. Place your hands on your hips and step the left leg a little way in front of the right, finding that small pyramid. Big breath in. On an exhale, fold forward into table. Stay or start to peel the left toes off the mat. Reach with one or with two hands for those toes. Hug them in towards your shin line. Keep your navel drawn in. Reground your left foot as you peel back up to a stand. Step the right leg up alongside the left. Find a tall stand, tucking your tailbone softly underneath you. Float your hands behind you, maybe interlacing, maybe fisting. Draw the two shoulders together. Reach your knuckles for the wall behind. Take a big breath in. On an exhale, start to fold forward, stopping in table or dropping through the table line and thinking crown to floor, knuckles to sky. Then soften your knees, uninterlace your arms, and ragdoll sway side to side. Come to stillness, center aligned, bleed up, restacking your body in one long line, shoulders, hips, knees, ankles stacked, tailbone tucked under. Big lazy inhale as you circle the arms. Big lazy exhale as you come down the center line in prayer with an active press into your palms. Thank you so much for coming and pushing with me today. Till next time, keep it light.